right, that's too funny.
Yeah, I think we're in our seats and chairs in the fully upright position, and our tray tables are up, Brian. So whenever you're,
make sure you don't look like we're holding
we can
hands.
Hold hands.
we're in this together.
All right, everybody ready?
Yeah, let's do it, Brian.
Welcome to Silicon Valley Impact, where business insight meets startup innovation. And now, please give a warm welcome for your host, Mr. Brian Sparks!
All right, settle on in. You're in for a great show. Welcome to Silicon Valley Impact. I'm your host, Brian Sparks. The purpose of the show. Who was it? At the fans? I love it.
Brian!
How are you, Brian?
I love it, Brian. Where did you get
nice
that?
to see you. Who
was that?
TikTok, honestly. I just saw that. Who was that? I have
Is that
no
one of our
idea.
guests?
I should give her credit.
Yeah.
I should give her credit. But
one of our high energy guests. Yeah.
I got a few of them.
Brian!
Oh my God, you have a
Yeah,
secret
those are my-
admirer,
I
man.
Oh, yeah.
That one sounded Italian.
Yeah, I like it. They come from all walks. All right.
Hold on before. Oh, now go ahead. Whatever you want to do first.
Yeah, let me kick off the show.
Kick it off, baby.
Let me remind
Kick it
everybody the purpose of the show is to have honest conversations about what it takes to build great businesses and communities so that you can make an impact within your own. All right. Brian, can you turn up on my mic a little bit? I know we're going to keep it a little...
Your mic is fine. I'm turning up your headphones.
There we go.
Is that-
All right. Well, Brian, we got a great show today.
I got a thing.
You got a thing?
I got a thing, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this last week off air, but this is really exciting. So go ahead and tell us about what you're holding.
I recently, for better or for worse, whatever, my optometrist told me I should start using eye drops, right? And immediately, Brian, what did I think when I heard the word eye drops? What did I think?
You had to think nano dropper.
Nano dropper! Exactly, you're exactly right. I thought nano dropper, so I went out and got myself some eye drops, and there you can see that I bought my nano dropper on Amazon.
I love it.
It works like a charm.
There's a backstory, though.
Right, the backstory is why everyone's like, the hell are you telling us this
Yeah,
for?
we are sponsors of Nano Dropper.
we had Nano Dropper was maybe one of our first or second guests on the show.
So Alyssa
the inventors of Nano Dropper.
Yeah, Alyssa Song was here.
Yeah.
She was on show 1 with Bill Berry and Megan.
Yeah.
From Ignite. They were here. And she was our first startup.
And we were, I was thrilled to have her. She did. I mean, you should go back and look at our very first show, season 1, episode 1, because they were great. And here she is. And I think they wound up getting another big round of funding not that long ago, right? And they've just really kind of done a great job. And here they are, a success story. And I think that at this point, I would say Silicon Valley needs to take this credit. Is Silicon Valley Impact.
Can't say it enough.
So
take heed. But there's more, Brian. But there's more when it comes to Nano Dropper.
Oh yeah, let's have it.
So Nano Dropper, one of their investors is Genevieve from Suncoast Ventures, and she's been on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was also excellent.
Yeah. And so that was it this year or last year? Well, anyway, I think it was this year.
I don't know the answer to that.
I believe she was on with Coyote Ventures as well. Jen.
Yeah.
I think it was from Coyote Ventures. Anyway, great episode.
Good for them. We're very proud of them. We're very happy to be affiliated with them and have had them on the show, and we wish them continued success.
Yeah. So we got a lot to dive into today. Not only do we have 3 amazing guests here, but definitely want to talk about a few things that are on our radar. We have TechCrunch coming up at the end of October. We are doing a side event with them, Silicon Valley Impact. So check that out.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. So, and we are also official sponsors with TechCrunch. So you can get a 25% discount on tickets if you go to our...
Now you tell me.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave. You can get 25% off your tickets by tapping the link in the show description. Brian, you and I will also, the week before TechCrunch, we'll be in Napa at Opal.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing the Opal Spotlight with them, and you can go to opalgroup.net to check out those tickets. And we're going to also talk about the IIT conference. Shashi's in the house today.
Yep.
Big shout out to Stack Ventures and the Agentic, our partners, and we're always looking for great partners to be a part of what we're creating here with Ecosystem, looking to make an impact. All right, with that being said, let's get to these guests. This may go long today, Brian. I got to be honest.
I'm okay with that. You know I am.
Yeah,
Right?
we got.
I always think you cut it a little short. Really, I always want more. We always leave them wanting more, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
today we've got a full house of people that I'm already interested in. We had a lot of pre-show conversation, and everybody seems, like they got a lot to say.
Well, I had breakfast with Shashi, and I think we had the full show during breakfast.
So just count on him being quiet. 'Cause
Yes.
No, don't
Brad
count
is
on
going
him.
to talk more about that.
he's already been exhausted.
Let's bring them into the conversation. Obviously, I want to do intros first for our audience so they can get to know my new best friends. But we have Shashi, Leah, and Dave in the house. Shashi, I'll start with you. Give a little quick intro about who you are for our guests and bring them up to speed.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Leah and Dave, for joining with us today. Good morning, audience. I'm Shashi Tripathi. I graduated from an institute called Indian Institute of Technology in India. I came to this wonderful country in '99, and over the year, this country is amazing. Over the years, I built my life here. I have played all my life into healthcare, so I have been fortunate enough to work in all the healthcare angles, so hospital, clinic, health insurance, life sciences, med devices, variety of roles from CIO, CTO to CEO, founded 3 companies. Unfortunately, my first one failed. Not that, Leah, I don't want you to be failing on first, be successful. But the last 2 were amazing. So the second one we sold to a company called Allscript, and third to St. Jude Medical. And in 2019, by accident, Brian, I became investor. So I invested in my first company and call it luck. In 11 months, I got 7 times return. Second company I invested in 14 months, I got 6 times return. So I thought, my God, this is great. I should do more of it. So I founded formally my current company, Nurture Ventures, which has a fund, a sidecar, SPV, through which I continue to invest even today. So I primarily invest into anything technology, literally any technology. So I've done battery, I've done supply chain tech, I've done manufacturing tech, FinTech, health tech, any tech, B2B. So I don't do B2C. And post-revenue.
Story of my life, Brian.
And post-revenue, so you have to have some revenue. I don't care about the stage, so seed, pre-series A, series A. I've done few series B. So to date, we have invested in 44 companies, and we got exit from 2 from there. So been again lucky. And just recently, we took a majority stake in a winery here in Bay Area.
So Sashi's got a full. I mean, the accolades go on and on. So we're going to do a deep dive, and we're going to actually start with IIT because
Sure.
That's coming up next year, 2026 in April, and so we got a lot to talk about that. Deep. I mean, the roster on these 3 guests just go on and on, but didn't mean to cut you off. But
No,
was there
that's
more?
okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to say IIT. I just took on a new role as a chairing a global conference for Indian Institute of Technology. We'll do a deep dive on that. You really don't want to miss that event. It's in Long Beach next year from April 22nd through 25th.
And you can go to iit2026.org to learn more about who the speakers are. I think one of your speakers, AJ Thomas and myself are going to be hosting. And you have speakers like Guy Kawasaki, other big names. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But you're not going to want to miss this conference. It's a 4-day conference. It's going to be amazing.
Correct.
But Shashi, I'm excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for being here. Leah, welcome. Good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you got a lot going on yourself.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what you're working on. Introduce yourself to our audience and get us excited about your startup and all the experience you've had.
Yeah, awesome. So I am an emergency physician. I practiced for 10 years, and after spending my entire youth with my nose in a book, learning how to prevent death and permanent disability so I could be the best doctor in the world, I thought I'd enter these hospitals and I'd get all the support I need to do the best work. And I realized that the system was full of tons of friction, tons of frustration. The resources weren't there that I needed. And I noticed that a lot of my other colleagues were frustrated. And then something happened where a hospital was actually illegally using my professional identity, my Medicare and Medicaid numbers to bill illegally, committing Medicare and Medicaid fraud. And I had already experienced the frustration of credentialing, which is the process of workforce onboarding to hospitals. And I realized that there was a gap and a problem in this process that not only led to this identity theft, but can lead to fraud and waste and abuse, which is a huge chunk of our healthcare system. We have a $5 trillion healthcare system. And so I set out to solve it. I chatted with my other physician colleagues, and we all got together, 600 of us, and put a little over $1 million into a business that was going to solve this problem for us in a very unique way. And I'm really excited to share more about that.
And so but you're investing yourself wasn't your first investment. You were previously doing some angel investing and before this, is that correct? Did I hear you correctly during the green room time?
I've been an entrepreneur my whole life.
Yeah.
I started flipping cars in high school first, only Honda Civics, because I understood them. And then I went to flipping houses. When I was 19, 20, 21, that's what kind of got me through medical school. Did a little bit of hard money lending, got into Bitcoin, stay in the real estate market in the Bitcoin world a little bit, but
so fun.
Got to survive.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Brian, did you have something?
No.
Okay.
This was part of the conversation before the show.
Yeah, you guys were geeking out about real estate and
Bitcoin. And crypto and all that, which we're not going to get into any of those today, but it was a good pre-show conversation, a nice distraction for us not to have the show before the show.
It was good stuff. All right. Well, again, Leah, thank you for being here. I'm excited to learn more about what you're working on. Dave, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you. Loves the shirt.
You told me to wear it.
I know.
But no one else got the memo, apparently. Like
I didn't have that t-shirt. Maybe I should have.
You should, yeah. With your logo right here, just nicely. Yeah. Or even, I'm thinking about getting a polo at some point in time so I can class up the joint a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're talking about the t-shirt already, and I don't know I'm not on the inside. I just thought it was a cool t-shirt. But this is your company?
This is company. So Dave, go ahead and let our audience and Brian know what you're working on.
Well, Brian and audience, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Dave.
My name is Dave Scott. I'm the CEO and founder of Evil Genius Games. We allow anyone to be able to build a board game, primarily a tabletop board game, online, sell it, and play it with anyone around the world. So has anyone ever played a game called Dungeons & Dragons?
I heard of it. Never
You've heard of it? What? Seriously, Brian?
Heard of it, never played it.
Oh
Sorry.
my God, you guys
outside.
are too cool for school, I think.
I chose BMX bikes.
BMX bikes, that's like the polar opposite of Dungeons and Dragons, really.
Yeah.
Well, when I was 11 years old, I went away to sleepaway camp and they were playing this game, and my life was forever changed. And since then, over 35 years, I've been playing the exact same game of Dungeons and Dragons with my friends and family from high school and college.
Like literally.
Literally.
Like it's ongoing. Yeah, I've heard some great things.
And it is how I built my community. It's how I built my social circles. And a lot of people underestimate the power of bringing people together on a regular basis through structured gameplay to build and maintain relationships. And now, today, over 150 million people do this every single week. And we're capitalizing on that fantastic community.
I love it. And you just, Brian, go ahead.
Stranger Things, were they playing Dungeons
Absolutely,
and Dragons? That was
100%.
I think that, I don't know, it'd been around for decades, but I think Stranger Things kind of elevated the profile of Dungeons and Dragons.
So it turns out it just had its 50th anniversary.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow.
Created by a fundamental, amazing human being named Gary Gygax 50 years ago in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, because they had to get out of the cold and figure out something to do. Couldn't ride BMX bikes in negative 5-degree weather.
Yeah.
And built the system, and it's been thriving ever since.
50. Wow.
Wow. That's incredible. And so also a little backstory on Dave, that he was the Startup Grind Oakland Startup of the Year. You won that pitch battle. Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Battled it out with like 20. Go ahead, let it rip, Brian.
I was going to, yeah.
That's how you dip it in sauce. That's how you dip it in sauce.
Nice. All right, so you won that start. Brian's sound effect, I love him. You told me to ignore it, but that was so good. I just had to
I'm
say.
having fun today with that. I got a whole new batch in, so I'm here.
All right, and so you won the startup battle in Oakland. You then went on to the semifinals, which you faced off like 30 startups from all over the world, and crushed it. Great job.
Yeah.
That's how it's done. Apparently,
done.
that's also how you dip it in sauce.
That's
That
how you
is
dip
how
it.
you dip it in sauce.
Is what I've learned.
And so,
That's how you dip it in sauce.
and a little backstory. You have experience in marketing, so you playing to the crowd. Your ability to articulate and create attractive messaging and products. This is no stranger to you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm blessed, right? So, computer science undergrad, Wharton MBA, learned from the best. And this is my fourth startup. So the last three startups had an average of a 7.5x return.
Very cool.
And I just love the economics of my business, which, 20,000 users, week over week, 15% week over week growth, no CAC, no churn.
Very nice.
My engagement numbers are higher than Netflix's engagement numbers. And I think that's really what sells it, right? Is just being focused on the fundamental economics of the business. Mm-hmm. But I always like to tell my personal story because people don't really understand how passionate I am about this business. I mean, I was passionate about all of the startups I made, but this one is like my life stream.
This is your childhood. It's grown up, right? Yeah,
This is my childhood.
This is your childhood. You start playing Dungeons and Dragons. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, just one of those. You seem like one of those people who never worked a day in his life because all you do is show up and play.
It turns out that I work harder now than I ever had before.
They somehow found a way to ruin it for you.
So, yeah, exactly. And everyone tells you that, by the way. Like, don't go into video games. If you like video games, you will never enjoy a video game the same way. Or don't go into film because you'll go to a film movie. Exact same thing with board games. Like, there's too much sausage on the floor. And now I know how it's done, and it's ruined forever. But hey, listen, I have a son. I can put all my hopes and dreams in him.
I love it. And you're doing it with a smile. You're doing it with a smile. So glad you're here. Again, so this is going to be kind of an open forum conversation, but I definitely want to do some double clicking on what you're working on. And Shashi, I want to start with you. Before the show, you and I had breakfast. We were talking about all your accomplishments in life, but you have now this upcoming conference that's really exciting. It's been around, I think you were saying, decades. The IIT coming up in 2026. You're the chairman. Tell our audience who haven't heard of this, and if you haven't heard of this, you've probably been under a rock for a while, but talk a little bit about what you're creating. What is the IIT?
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. So Indian Institute of Technology was first founded in 1951, right after we got the freedom in India. And over the years, it has produced some amazing talents.
Really, some phenomenal people. Like, wow. Like, just really, it's the MIT of India.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. And in fact, I say it's harder to get in IIT than MIT. And just to give you some names, the Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, is from IIT. Perplexity CEO, Srinivasan, is from IIT. IBM, Snowflakes, Data Robot. Half of the NVIDIA direct reports, half of the Microsoft direct reports are IITians. The guy who runs the whole AI platform for Amazon, he's from IIT. So I can venture to guess, you pick any technology company, and I can guarantee you there's one IITian sitting there. So I think IIT made a mistake of me graduating from IIT, and I got the honor to chair this global event, which is happening next year in Long Beach from April 22nd through 25th of 2026. And this is something we do every year, but we alternate between India and US. So 2024 was in DC, 25th was in Bombay, 26 somewhere in India, 26 is here in Long Beach, 27 somewhere in India, and 28 is in Dallas. The conference in Long Beach has a theme, Innovate, Ignite, and Thrive, which also is spelled as IIT. It has 4 tracks, artificial intelligence, health, sustainability, investment, so venture capital, private equity, exit planning, and global connect. So all the geopolitical landscape is changing. The impact of that, how our lives and community is changing, we will talk there. We are bringing some really high-powered speakers in the conference. And as Brian pointed out, you can go on iit2026.org to look into all the details about conference, including registration. Please sign up. But so far, we have signed up confirmed speaker Guy Kawasaki, president of Cisco, Jitu Patel, the CTO of AMD, Chamath. So we are signing some very high-powered speaker. I'm speaking to some very even higher-powered speaker to bring. And so we are very, very excited to host this conference. And thank you, Brian and AJ, for being MC in the conference and host for us. So if you know anyone, please be there in Long Beach next year from April 22nd through 25th.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and it's coming fast. And so as people are hearing, all these good names to big conference, if someone goes there, what is really their takeaway? You're going to hear, the great tracks. You have those buckets. It's 4 days. There's after parties, side events, opportunities for sponsorships. And again, if you're interested, you can reach out to us in getting involved. We definitely want to get as many people involved with this because it is the best of the best, and not only the best of the best in what they do, but who they are. Mm-hmm. They're great people. But if you're going there for the first time, what can you kind of expect and take away? What are some of those high level takeaways that may come from a conference like this?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Brian. And one thing I just want to also dispel the rumor or myth that even though IITians are planning it, anyone can attend it.
That's what I was going to ask. Are we all welcome?
All welcome. We want to be inclusive.
Shoot, they let me host the thing. You gotta kind of assume that they'll let anybody in.
Well, you're working it there. You're not attending.
Do you have a healthcare track?
Yes.
Amazing.
We have a healthcare. We are bringing some really high-powered healthcare speakers, by the way.
Sold.
But do you have a D&D track at all?
A D&D track?
What is
Probably
Dungeons
not.
Dungeons and Dragons.
You know what, Dave? We might
gaming.
We might just create if you're willing to lead this.
Yeah,
I'm always willing to lead something, or at least a consumer track. Do you have a consumer track at all?
No, unfortunately. But again, I repeat, we are happy to if we have long enough time where we can be flexible.
Yeah.
One thing I'll also say that we will have roughly 150 to 200 exhibitions. Within the exhibition area, we are planning to do AI Village. And in there, we are planning to have all the layers of AI, from infrastructure to language models, to application layer, to agentic layer. Also, we will have a startup village. And in there, we are planning to have all the stages of different startup being there. In terms of your question, Brian, the value people will get, if you can see the 4 tracks we have planned around innovation, ignite, and thrive, even though they look disjointed, but they are connected. How healthcare is changing in the mix of AI, and how global connects the geopolitical issue. I mean, we see even in our modern DNAs, what has happened over the time, the world has collapsed. Information has brought all of us together. And when we come together, what we do, more conflict. So a lot more conflict is happening at the global stage. Because of this, we have become so close together. So we will have a speaker who are literally have experience. The diplomat from Sweden, she is coming, Lena, to talk about in the conference how Europe is playing a role at the global stage. So you will learn not just the AI piece, not just the health, or not just the investment, but how these geopolitical issues are impacting all our life and communities. You will hear Vishal Sharma, who heads the AGI, which is the human intelligence at Amazon. He has roughly 6,000 employees reporting to him. Alexa is part of his responsibility. He will talk about how the future of AGI, future of AI, which we are experiencing today, how it's going to change in the future. He will share his vision. Coming back to your point, you will hear all this talent, but also you get to interact because we will have 3,000 high-powered mind people there.
Yeah.
And then we have planned the fun every day, by the way. So every day in the evening.
It's the most important part.
Exactly.
Fun.
We have musical events. We have cultural events. In the morning, we have yoga. We have meditation.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
So we are thinking this conference not like any other con. We want to create value for
an experience.
It's the experience.
Yeah, it's complete immersive. I love this. And I love what you just said, Shashi, about, hey, I'm still open to ideas. We're still building. We're still looking to hear around the world, what are some ideas that you want to see in this? And that's what I love, how open you are to this and looking to integrate more and more demographics, perspectives, verticals, whatever it may be. So yeah, if you want to have a conversation, you can reach out to me. We'll connect them to Shashi, but definitely you have, as a listener on Silicon Valley Impact, you have access through us. And again, we'll be posting more about tickets. We'll be posting more about events and speakers, but this is definitely something you're not going to want to miss on the West Coast as well as around the world. So
yeah, one thing also I want to add to it is we are trying to, through this conference, we are trying to connect the global stage. And as I indicated, IITians are everywhere in the world. So I spoke to the guy who heads the IIT group in Australia, the guy who heads the IIT group in Japan, in Singapore, in Europe, in Canada, and they all are promising to bring their attendees from there to the stage in Long Beach. So think about in 3 days, amount of talent and the power and the networking and the fun you can do is like amazing. Through the website, I repeat, iit2026.org. You can go even today, register yourself. If you want to exhibit, be part of those villages, AI or startup, please register. By the way, the exhibition booths, registration process, we have completely automated it, like IITian tech guys. And then, of course, if you are willing to sponsor us, we welcome you.
And previous speakers have been Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. So really more speakers to come. We'll be releasing those announcements on Silicon Valley Impact. And you can check it out updated daily, I would think, on iit2026.org. So check that out. But we definitely want to dive into kind of what you've been working on as well, because you've had the fund, you've had the startups, but we'll come back to that. I definitely want to tap in on Leah. You've got a huge run up as well, right? And I mean, I'm blown away that you got your start in flipping cars, real estate. It's like it's in your blood. Did your family do this too? Like, where did you get this bug?
Honestly, my mother was a hairdresser. My father was an artist. Neither of them had a very big entrepreneurial mindset. I did get into real estate because my uncle was in that, but I was flipping cars, saving money, and all of a sudden I had $20,000, and I'm like 18 years old, and I'm like, I know I'm supposed to do something with this to make it grow other than let it sit in my bank account. And I went to my uncle. I'm like, hey, Uncle Tony, like, I saved all this money. He's like, how the hell did you get all that money? I'm like, well, I did this, I did that. He's like, all right, we're gonna put it into real estate. And so I bought my first building with him. And he kind of showed me later on about like the hard money lending business and kind of made those introductions. And yeah.
So you just dove right in. You saw that there was opportunity here. And so kind of fast forwarding now to your angel investing in the company you're building. First company? Is this your first company now?
This is my first company, yeah. And I mean, unless you're talking about the LLCs and my business when I was working as a doctor, as an independent physician, so.
Yeah. So what had been some of your growing pains with start? Because a majority of our listeners are startups as well. And I know startups can feel alone, like kind of on an island, and yet everything is coming at them. Brian, you got your...
Can we start by knowing what she does?
She got to start. Yeah, she got to start.
But do we know what the business actually does? Did I miss that? Did I just tune out?
Well,
no,
we didn't go into depth. I kind of
So before we get to her journey, can we just all, without having to wait suspensefully all the way through the story, can we
this is the problem with having conversation before, because I'm thinking, oh yeah, we already had that, but it was
right.
Really
you think everybody knows, and I'm sitting over here thinking I've been putting this off. I've known her for 45 minutes now, and I still don't know.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, Leah, tell us what you're working on.
So for context for everyone, we're all feeling like the healthcare system is friction filled and frustrating. And I'm like really excited to talk to you here and offline.
Sure.
And what we're not realizing is, okay, like we're feeling like we can't find an appointment. When we find the appointment, it's like many months out, and then we only get 10 or 15 minutes with this doctor, and we're not sure if they're giving us the right advice, and we're worried that we're getting the wrong advice, and we see all this conflicting information, especially with what's going on recently. And so what people aren't realizing is, okay, yes, there is a physician shortage, but the pipeline for me to actually just get to be able to work is, there's a bottleneck of credentialing where there's this manual paperwork verification process that they have to do before they let me work. And so a lot of people don't realize that process is a 4 to 6 month process.
And I just want to add this to attest this problem because we have faced it. I used to be in hospital side. It's a huge problem, by the way, because every state has a different licensing requirement. So if Leah wants to work tomorrow in Wisconsin, for example, she wants to see a patient, she cannot until she is credentialed in Wisconsin.
Is that global as well? I mean,
It's only in US, by the way.
Okay.
This is each state has their own requirement.
Well, but
There's no-
if you moved over to another country, you would have to get re-credentialed over there as well.
100%,
Right,
but
however-
it's a federal level, not the state level. Here, she has to get credential at the state
Right,
level.
and like
Anyway.
think about your driver's license,
Yep.
for example.
Yep.
I have my Florida driver's license still, and I can drive in California.
Yep, but
right?
you
So there's-
cannot practice here unless you are credentialed.
Right. So states have interstate driver's license reciprocity. And so this is something that like doctors have been kind of fighting for.
Yes.
And our national and regional associations have not been supportive because the medical boards make money off of my licensing in 18 million different places. So doctors who are licensed in 50 states have to spend $50,000 every 2 years to relicense and pay all of these fees on top of all the training. So yeah, under credentialing comes licensing,
Yep.
but it also comes privileging in hospital systems and with employers. And then
Oh,
there's
it's a
also
nightmare.
enrollment and payment. I mean, I love that I have
Even
such
just,
a good,
just within one city you're living in, if there are 3 hospitals, she cannot practice in all 3 until she is credentialed in all 3. Until she credentialed in all 3.
Yeah.
So I carry on.
So big problem. You guys are tackling this. Where are you at in this journey? Because again, you gave a great pitch at Plug and Play.
Thank
the
you.
Agentic is building your model. I'm assuming. And so where are you at in this journey?
And what's
So-
the name of your company?
The company is called Evercred, forever verified, forever credentialed. We're doing permanent, perpetual primary source verification so that this manual process that's kind of like done in this temporal relationship and takes 4 to 6 months, we are building agents that can do each task in parallel and essentially create this permanent, perpetual primary source verification. So we have a product in the market that's a wallet where I can upload my credentials. We use AI to data extract them, to aggregate the data. We can, notify you of expiring credentials. So that's in the market now. It's just the physician-facing wallet. But the real solution is not only just solving for credentialing, not only building a software that makes it easier to manage this stuff. The real solution is deploying agents, domain-trained agents that can go do this work in our sleep so that I can get to work tomorrow or in moments instead of in months.
So may I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
Are you also partnering with this national and state boards to get the credential? Because until they approve, your application will not work because they have to approve it.
Well, so the Joint Commission and NCQA are the ones that kind of regulate whether credentialing software systems are acceptable, and they all do all the regulatory checks on that. So we can become, we've already been approved to apply for that.
Okay.
It is an expensive application. And there are some states, California is really advanced. They have an API into their, licensing database where you can hook up that API. So part of this will be API based. Instantaneous verification part, and the rest will be agentic.
And so speaking of the Agentic, they're building part of your program. And this has allowed you not to raise. You could just build and go sell. Is that correct?
Correct. So they're realizing the upside on both the agent side and the LLM side.
Yeah.
And they are, they saw what we're doing. They see that this is, administrative waste in healthcare is like $150 billion problem of that $5 trillion. And, this little sliver is around 35 billion. And so they know that when they build it, it's not only the software that, some of the leading software companies are selling for like $25,000 to $1 million per year. They're also hiring these individuals who are doing this manual stuff, which adds hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So if you can replace those humans who are doing this very repetitive, very easy to, have an agent do, then you're not only saving that time that the doctor's not working, you're not only getting me to work faster, getting me to be able to make money faster, you're not only reducing the loss and the in revenue over those 4 months, but you're replacing those humans that don't need to be.
Remind me after the show to talk to you about Samuel Merritt University. Are you familiar with them out of Oakland?
No.
Okay, let's have a conversation about them because I think they could use what you're creating. But Brian, let's take a quick break. We've heard about IAT. We talked about what Leah is working on. When we come back, we're going to geek out with Dave about Evil Genius and I told you we were going to talk about go-to-market because I love that stuff. So I want to hear more about your insights on go-to-market, and we'll revisit what Shashi is working on in terms of his fund when we come back.
I love the name of your company.
All right, we're back. We're here with Shashi. We're here with Brian, Shashi, Leah, and Dave.
That is funny, Brian.
I thank you. I appreciate that.
I gotta know who it is, though.
It brought some color to your face, Brian. I don't know if that's embarrassment or just joy.
Actually, I got family members that sound like that. So
that's funny. So it's like almost traumatic for you?
No, it's so comforting, actually. Yeah. Door opens, they're my two cousins, and they sound exactly like that.
Emotional, damn it.
All right, so we're back with three amazing guests. Before we went to the break, we were going to talk to Dave about a little bit more about what he's working on. And again, I teased it earlier, Dave. I love talking about go-to-market. You've been great at it. You got a lot of experience at it. I would be asking selfishly if I said talk a little bit about go-to-market first. But first, please talk a little bit about Evil Genius, what you're working on. What's next for you guys? I know you're getting a lot of traction, attention. You got like a 1% churn rate. You've done this before. You're finally in that space where it's like, hey, I'm doing a startup that is anchored to my childhood. You're loving it. Take that with a grain of salt. But go ahead, fill in the ... Tell us more about what you're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen. So what's it? We talked a little about isolationism, and I actually, when I started this company, thought this is my third startup. I know everything I need to know about it, and then I proceeded to make every single mistake in the book, and realized that I was isolated, meaning that I work from my home, so I crawl out of bed, I crawl to my desk, I turn on my computer, I work all night, and then I crawl back into my room, and I realized that I was pretty lonely. I had no one to talk to about the whole nine.
Maybe it's all the crawling, David.
Well, that's how I exercise. That's my exercise stuff.
I mean, do you walk upright when you go out? I mean, are you?
I try not to. But and the thing about it is that like I actually made the decision to join Techstars, and I just want to give a shout out to Techstars. Amazing program. My MD, Neil Salas Griffin, amazing guy. And they forced me to rethink my business entirely. So the first thing they made me do is they made me talk to 10 of my customers. Can you imagine I didn't actually do that before this?
I often say that. I mean,
somehow we can imagine that because we've heard it about 1,000 times on this show.
Exactly.
People don't talk to you. You don't talk to your customers, your ICP.
I know exactly. Many of my portfolio company will come and can you give me some advice as how many customers you have? And they say like 15, 20. I said, have you met all of them together in a room and ask what value they can add to your company? Oh no, I should do it.
It didn't dawn on me.
And you didn't do that with your other companies then?
No.
Oh, interesting.
You're doing something right.
Why would I do that?
Wow.
I mean, I know everything I need to know about what I'm building, of course, right? Because I am my customer, which is absolutely wrong, right? And the ironic thing about it is my other companies, I was very, very fortunate enough to hire product managers and project managers who did that work. But at the grassroots level, I probably didn't do enough. And the first thing they said is, go do it. And they taught us a strategy, a framework called Jobs to Be Done. And I went out and I interviewed 10 of my customers. And I went, holy cow, I'm building the wrong thing. And I'm doing it all wrong. And then I went to do 20. And now I'm at 100 customer interviews. So when you talk about what's next for my company, what I'm really, really proud to say is I know exactly what I need to build to make my customers happy for the next 2 years.
Nice. And for you, that's a win, because I don't think a lot of companies go in the beginning, first time entrepreneurs, they go in to build a great product, and they don't go in really looking to immerse themselves in a problem, continue that communication, and then based on that communication, build the product to solve that problem. It's kind of reverse engineering that is often not done, and it's taken you 3 companies to realize that, and it's kind of like an aha moment.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And then so that's the win. That's why I'm so confident on what's going to happen the next couple of years. That's why we have such a predictable growth and revenue plan, is because I just know exactly what my customers are willing to pay for.
So I got to ask this question. So you have so much experience in go-to-market. You're with Amazon. You've worked with some big companies, marketing, then PR, and yet that was kind of your role. What I mean,
was it?
Doc, I mean, you can't operate on yourself. Maybe that's what this is you finally now had to kind of operate on yourself with your own startup. You were good at doing it for a big company, but what was kind of the gap where you were good at it for somebody else, PR, marketing, go to market, but yet when it came to your company, did you just have too many other things to think about? What was kind of the disconnect?
Yeah, Brian, what's the phrase? The cobbler's kids have no shoes, right? So, so just to give everyone else background here, I actually have my degree from Wharton in marketing. And I've worked at large companies. I was VP of marketing at companies like PeopleSoft, Oracle, AT&T. I was VP of marketing at Twitter, and then most recently at Amazon, where I ran a global staff there. In addition to that, I've also written 2 bestsellers on the concept of marketing, which you could find in Amazon. Just look for it. The New Rules of Lead Generation and the Essentials of Small Business Marketing. And I teach marketing at Wharton and Haas and San Diego State University. You think I would know this stuff, right, Brian?
Yeah. Tell us more.
Can I say badass on the radio?
Yes, you can, Marianne.
But it's so funny because you never think about the fundamentals, right? And getting back to the fundamentals, and so I've had to go back to the fundamentals and put my learning hat back on, and it's been a blast. It really has.
May I ask, so your previous companies, were they all B2B and this is the first B2C? Did that have anything to do with it? Or
that's the funny thing. What's obviously strange is that I've vacillated between my B2B career and my B2C career. And so I've made the most money as a B2B marketer, with credentials at Oracle and PeopleSoft and other Honeywell. I was the CMO at a division of Honeywell. And then you got my passion.
Yeah.
And my passion is all the consumer stuff. And so all my startups were like the first company I started was a comic book company online that I ended up selling to Toys R Us. My last company was an on-demand streaming comedy platform that I sold to Kevin Hart, right? So I think I love the consumer stuff. I think I'm better at the enterprise stuff.
So I got to ask you, just kind of as a footnote for our audience who are looking to avoid that kind of setback of understanding your customer, having those conversations. So based on personal pain and personal education, what would you educate our audience on when it comes to early stage marketing and go to market? What are some high level 3 things, 1 thing that you can think about?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, and all these are sort of first principles in marketing that there's a book. You don't need to buy my book. I get 67 cents for every book you buy. There's a book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. It is a thin book. You can read it in an hour. It's unbelievable. But one of the immutable laws of marketing is you are not your customer.
That's a lesson I had to learn because we had a first product that we ended up needing to kind of pivot to this new product. And it was really based on only what the doctors want, only what the doctors need. I'm here to serve them because that was the ethos. That is the ethos of the company still. But we also have to serve everybody else in that whole space. So it's like a marketplace play.
And I love that, Leah, because you talked a lot about the pain. I mean, the reason why you're in it is because you saw the pain firsthand. And so you think that you should be naturally the first customer you should be able to serve, right?
Yep.
Wrong. Brian, I know you got a wrong button in there somewhere.
Wrong. You're wrong. Get out of here. Leave the studio.
Family Feud
that work for you?
Yeah, Family Feud X's would be good.
But I love that. I love that about your background. And I think as an entrepreneur, that's where we got to start. We got to start from our own personal pain. but we got to very quickly broaden horizon.
So you say you are not your customer. Say more.
Yeah. And what's so funny is I slept through my marketing classes at Wharton, by the way. And
No.
Professor Lynn Lodish walked up, and the very first thing he wrote on the chalkboard was, "You are not your customer." And then the second thing he said was, "Cash is king," which is another great
Sales fixes
ism.
everything else.
Right, exactly. But I think the thing about it is that when you are fixing your own problem, there are blinders on.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it. And what I started to do with my company is I started to create a product that I wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I didn't realize was that how people were consuming my product. And then in talking to my customers, I realized, so this is the thing. I make a board game, a role-playing game. And I work with Hollywood studios to create games based off of famous movie franchises. So for example, did you even see the movie Kong Skull Island? Oh, you guys are a bunch of cool people.
What's it about?
Still on my bike.
It's about King Kong.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the island he lives on. It was $1 billion blockbuster movie. We created a game which takes place right after the end of the movie. So Tom Hiddleston and the other characters leave, and then they do a bunch of stuff, right? And we sold tons and tons and tons of that game. And I went and interviewed my customers, and I said, "Oh, did you buy this game?" They go, "Yeah, we bought it." I go, "Cool. Did you play it?" They go, "No, we didn't play it." I go, "Wait, hold on. Why didn't you play the game? Like, you bought it." He goes, "Well, we read it and put it on the shelf." I go, "I don't understand why." And they go, "Well, what we did was we grabbed ideas from your game and we went and made our own game."
Ooh. Ah.
And it turned out that 8 out of every 10 of our customers did exactly that.
Cool.
So then we decided, hold on, why are we making all these games, spending all this money, getting all these licenses and making all these games when all they really want is Toolcat to do their own game?
Toolkits, yeah.
And that's how we unlock the magic of our business. So I just really think the secret sauce is really talking to your customers. And people have told me that throughout the years, and I just have never really internalized it until the accelerator.
But you made a great point about blind spots. You are not your customer. You don't understand that perspective until you have conversations. And I think death is in the assumption that you think if it's just your idea, everyone's got to need it. But really, when you start having that conversation, it is really in the early stages where you can pivot and really hit that pain point or opportunity or whatever it may be. And I think that's, I think, very key for our audience to really take in is empathizing with your market by having those conversations and not just bringing a product to market with features that you think are really cool.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And then going back to sort of the first principles of marketing, one thing I would say is fight like hell not to spend a dime in marketing until you get to your first $100,000 of ARR.
Leah, that was a
Maybe
deep
more.
breath.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
Or $1 million in ARR. Fight like hell not to spend a dime in
Because
marketing.
if your product is good, if the value
should sell
prop is there, it will sell.
Although, you know what, though? You're an engineer. Of course, you said, I'm a marketer. I think that's BS. The only reason I think that's a BS is because I think there's a lot of engineers who've got the mindset that if I build it, they will come. I actually disagree with that mindset.
And baseball players.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And ghosts. Ghosts love that as well. Part of the problem is because there's a lot of engineers out there, startups that I've met that have built an amazing product.
And they didn't market.
And they just sit there and go, okay.
And then
they-
there's three users. And they're like,
what I'm saying is market it, but not spend the dollar, because dollar initially is very important, especially if you are building in the beginning. You have to be mindful about where your dollar is going. So if you build the good product, think about companies like Lovable. They became $100 million ARR. I know that's only one example. They did not spend a whole lot because their product freaking is so cool. You can build a website in 5 minutes.
it is a cool product, yeah.
And people are talking. They are not paying anything to me, but I'm talking about it. Build a product which has a genuine need in the market and society and change the game. It will market. So I think I partly agree with you. Yes, you have to do marketing. You have to go talk about it. You have to go hustle. You have to go into the events, but not spend the money, because early on, every dollar is very important.
Yeah, you don't have to pad Zuckerberg's pocket.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, paid marketing in that way. But
Yeah.
for example, the sales cycle in hospital systems is 18 months.
I know, it's very
So,
long. Very
you know,
long.
you need huge coffers to be able to survive that one.
Yeah.
So
and
that's sales, not marketing,
Yeah.
or business development, not marketing. And there are people, for example, like who built Salesforce, which will tell you that that's where they invest all the money. Salesforce didn't hire a CMO until well late in their game.
Yeah.
They didn't need it.
They just kept stacking on salespeople and
B2B
stacking on
product, yeah.
salespeople and taking that 18-month sales cycle down to 6 months over years.
Well, what I love about what you're building is like it signals that people want to have agency. People want to like choose their own adventure in this world. People want
I
to
love that.
customize things. The Lovable is another example. Like I want to be able to go in and do it myself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I think that part of what's interesting about the whole marketing thing is like marketing is becoming sales because people need to be able to go in and kind of, do things automatically without having to go through this huge process and things like that. So, physicians also want to choose their own adventure. They want to work part-time in their private practice and then be able to go do Doctors Without Borders. And then they want to be able to be on podcasts and become influencers in their niche spaces. Like they're super specialists and things like that. And that's part of why, ours is kind of like, it's a marketplace kind of thing too. It's two-sided. Yeah.
Yeah, I had this amazing story that happened with my customer that blew me away. And it changed my perspective forever. I was at a trade show and or at a convention, and we had a booth, and I was manning the convention. I had the booth all by myself. You know what it is. And then I had to go to the bathroom, Brian. All of a sudden, And
Why is he looking at me like this?
Well, you have the key. You have the key to the
All of a
got
sudden,
the
I'm
key.
getting dragged into the conversation.
I had to go to the bathroom.
Story before the show, by the way.
So I was talking to a customer. He had bought all my products. He was the biggest fan. And he goes, you know what? I'll watch your booth for you. while you
I'll
go
sell
to the
this.
bathroom."
Yeah.
I know all about it.
literally
That's awesome. I
Your
love
biggest customers, they will support you all the way.
So I come back, and not only did he like hold the thing, but a reporter came while I was in the bathroom. He did the interview.
Yeah. I mean,
How did he do? Did he do
He did
well?
pretty
that.
well.
Did they wait?
He didn't say wait. Yeah.
Okay.
So my first instinct was, why didn't you tell him to come back
Yeah.
later? No, he was so enthusiastic. What I realized was, not only was he so enthusiastic, but he was so invested in my product that it was no longer my product. It was our product.
yeah. I mean, I have
Oh, that's
portfolio
good.
companies. I can give many examples, at least two. I spoke to one of my portfolio companies, and he was so interested. And he said, the amount of value we are getting from this product, I'm going to write the value proposition for you guys, for
Love
the
it.
company.
Love
So
it.
yeah,
And
I
that,
mean, there are cases like that.
And we ended up raising money on a crowd fund from doctors. It was the only way I could get people to, be able to do something, to contribute something. Because even though physicians are accredited investors, and we raised over $1 million, and we also had, the physician investors were going to conferences and having booths sharing about, what we're doing and what we're doing differently and how
That's
we're.
amazing.
Yeah. So that was really cool. Yeah.
I used to be at PeopleSoft when we had PeopleSoft Connect, and I've been to Dreamforce, and even these large B2B conferences. What they are is they're building brand ambassadorship. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing. Everyone who's spending $3,500 to go to that conference, they're doing it so that they can become better advocates inside their company about that technology. So finding a way to mobilize your customer base. Guess what I ended up doing afterwards? I recruited 100 of them to go into game stores every single weekend and demo my game.
I love it.
And they get paid in T-shirts and swag.
Nice.
We need more swag here, so just so
Yeah.
you know. But that's so interesting. And so here is where you save the dollar, right?
Yes.
It's
Where you
really
save the
looking back at your customers. Are you happy? Is this pain? Are you excited about that? And then making it the we rather than the I. I find that very valuable, and a lot of startups don't see that value prop. And so from your personal pain point, you realize in your third company, wait a minute, I have a gold mine in customer experience. Yeah.
And it was a complete and total mind shift. Because I walked in the industry saying, I know everything about this industry. I'm the badass. I can say badass, right?
You can say badass, yeah.
Yeah, Marianne said you
I
can.
mean, gaming is
Exactly.
Can I say badass on the radio?
Yeah, yeah.
And I realized that it's not up to me. It's up to my customer
I love that.
for this business
That
to be
is great.
successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so earlier, Leah, you had a big gasp. Has that gasp subsided?
Well, yeah, they especially for crowd funds, they're like, well, you have to spend money on marketing in order to da-da-da. So like, we spent, 30 or 40K on the first crowd fund on like paid ads, and maybe $3,000 of investment came from that. Like when we looked at the metrics, it was all just smiling and dialing and meeting people and talking to people and, doing webinars with the community. It was a community driven effort for sure. Yeah.
But I love something you just said, which is that you measured it. And so when I teach classes on marketing, the first thing I say is that which is not measured does not improve. And so the very fact that you put your UTM link into your crowdfunding and you actually tracked where the money was coming from, that is the discipline that you need to be successful when you do have money to spend.
I mean, the thing is, it was super painful because, the team that was doing this, I saw what they were doing. It wasn't like they weren't doing anything. And they said, oh, we just need a couple more months to show you. And I'm like, well, you said that the first month and we only had $1,000. Now this is month 2. We have 3,000 in total. We can't keep spending 20K a month for a few $1,000. And you might be right. I might regret it. And part of me wonders, like, maybe if I did one more month, maybe the couple million that we needed would have come in. But it was just kind of like, I think marketing is the whole black box for me as a new entrepreneur.
Brian, I think this is what's the value of the show is we get these insights is because traditional, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, you would know this from Wharton, is that traditionally marketing class will tell you, well, you need X percentage being spent towards marketing. I mean, it could be as high as 40%. That's traditional education. But now what you're learning through experience is that, no, there's a way around this. And I loved, if I can kind of connect other programs, when Alicia Casillo came in here and said, if I was going to give you that money, or excuse me, if I was going to give you the thing that you needed, that you were asking for money for, what would that be? And so access and insight to customers, I think in this situation, is really where that money or where that insight is substituted.
Almost more valuable.
Yeah. So you found a way to get access to customers without spending marketing dollars just by this genius, no pun intended, this evil genius type of way of just listening and deploying happy customers.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Listening also works really well in your relationships, apparently.
Shut up.
That's a whole nother show.
No.
All right. Well, again, I told you guys the hour would go quick, but I want to ask one last question. It could take us another hour, but Shashi, I want to ask you, well, two things. One, I want to ask you what's next for you. Obviously, I know what the answer is. It's going to be the conference. But from a high level for our startups that are listening, you have you're extremely brilliant. You're a solo VC. What do you look for in all the companies that you've been investing in that a startup should be focusing on? Like, what are those insights that they could have?
Brian, you asked 2 questions maybe. One question, what I look for, and then second question is what's
next for you?
So what next for me is, of course, this conference I'm leading, but also I probably will launch a fund in the area of AI data and quantum. That's a cross section where industry is moving. And one of the reason I have been solo GP, and I like that way, is that I can make a decision which is very hard to write on a piece of paper. And let me explain this. So most VC have a due diligence process. Most VC has this, they write DD doc. They call it due diligence doc. And most VC have this 10 pointers. They look for team, TAM, finance, marketing, sales, all that. I do that, by the way. But one of the things I often have done, which has worked, is I look this multi-dimensional thinking in one time in the brain. It's very hard to write in a piece of paper. How do you go for one particular investment we are making on assigning point 8 to team, point 6 to finance, point 4 to TAM, point 5 to marketing, and yet at the same time you are visualizing how this company is going to change the game in the future? It's hard to explain that into the piece
intuition.
of paper. Mm-hmm.
You have good intuition.
It's called intuition, I guess. You gave the name.
Yeah.
So I look for that, really, Brian. When I'm meeting with the founder, yes, I have a due diligence process where I look for financial, where I look for last 12 months of your revenue, monthly revenue, your expenses, how fast your MRR is growing. I look for all that. But in the end, also it matters is what are different, all these dimensions coming together. So that's one area I look for into the company. One advice, I mean, I can give many advice, but one, if I had to pick, is this customer thing. And many of my portfolio will come, what do I do? Build as early you can the customer advisory board. As early you can. I mean, even if you have 3 customers, bring them into the room, pay their flight, by the way. That is the investment I will recommend.
Oh, that's a good one.
Pay their flights, pay their hotel. And by doing this, by the way, you're indirectly taking this credit in their mind for them to do something for you. Bring them into one room, 2 hours, go take them to dinner, and go with some plan. Hey, what value is we are adding to you? Be honest to me. This is a safe room. What is 2 areas which you really don't like about it? Tell me what I can do where you can talk on our behalf to your network. Ask those questions and assemble those, and add the 4th one, add the 5th one, add the more. More inclusive is not a bad thing. Inclusive is a good thing. So one advice I will have is bring customer as soon as you can. A lot of people think about, I need to bring my board of directors. Yes, important. But focus on building the customer advisory board.
Customer first.
I hear the same kind of theme from both of you guys.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so good. I mean, yeah, I'd love that. Keep that one going. Same thing, Leela, for you. What's next for you, and kind of like what can we look forward to coming out of your company?
Well, we're about to launch this sharing functionality, which is essentially like hospitals, health systems. But we're really our go-to-market is really on small to medium-sized practices. They currently have a very manual process. Most of them don't even have a software system. They have these full-time staff. So we're launching that. It's going to be available next month. So I'm really excited to serve the independent practices, serve the locums companies, the telemedicine companies, the surgery centers, large health systems, like I said, the 18-month cycle. So we're not going to lick that donut until a few years from now. And then we are in the process of building the agents. So, our target for that is kind of hard to say because we just started this part, and but we're thinking maybe January that we'll be able to launch that. So, for me, it's just helping people understand that doctors are here to serve you. We dedicated our lives to service, and we feel underserved. And we want to be free. We want to be free to practice, to serve patients rather than insurance companies or our employers. And we want to kind of elevate and accelerate the mission and vision of companies and organizations that want to work with doctors who have this independent way of thinking, who want to really think about the service to patients, and who want to eliminate the administrative waste. This $150 billion is wasted on administrative nonsense, and this is non-clinical waste. There's another $150 billion of clinical waste where I order the second test a second time because I can't find the test because it was done at an outside office. That's not what we're talking about. This is just administrative waste. There's the doctor to administrator ratio is 1 to 10. And most of these people are doing very rote processes that can be automated. So people think that we're going to replace doctors with AI. I don't think so. I think AI is going to be used as a calculator, and I think agents and AI is going to be used to reduce this administrative bloat. And so I'm really excited for anybody who's interested to reach out to me. I'm on Twitter or X, LinkedIn, and I try my best to respond to everyone. And
okay, and you can definitely connect through our show notes, but definitely reach out to you. Dave, what's next for you guys?
Well, Brian, I'm going to say the F word. I know it's probably not allowed.
I can hear it.
But it's all about
viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah. And that is fundraising. I know it's a bad word. But
it's not the bad word.
If someone could put me out of my misery so I don't have to spend 80 hours a week fundraising, so I could focus on operating the business.
Yeah.
So I can focus on operating the business. That would really be wonderful. Right now we're running really, really lean. We're putting up great numbers. We're almost close to break even. But for me to have the money to invest in the real dream, accelerate that roadmap and really make it exactly what my customers want, so that I could build this $1 billion unicorn, That's really what I need to really unlock the value and growth of the business.
And if you win next week at the
There's
startup,
no money in it, unfortunately.
it's no. I thought it was like $1 million.
If that was the case, then I
Then
wouldn't
he would
be here.
not be here working hard
I'd be
for
prepping.
that.
I'd be prepping the sesh.
You said prepping. I thought you said I'd be clubbing.
But I just got to say to any investor out there, there's more than AI companies out there. There are companies that are not AI, which are going to be really big, really huge. So
I agree.
So take a look at companies across the spectrum.
Yeah, I love it. All right. How can people connect with you?
Gosh, I think we'll be in the show notes, apparently.
Yeah, you'll be in the show notes.
So that's
any
a great
specific
way.
ways?
My website's evilgeniusgames.com.
Nice.
And I'm everywhere. Everywhere people are doing the coolest dances. So
Okay.
Instagram and Twitter and
TikTok?
all that thing. TikTok.
Sorry. Did I expose myself? All right. And last but not least, Shashi, how can people connect with you? And
So Shashi Tripathi, LinkedIn is the best way to connect with me. And of course, we will be on the show notes. And then IIT2026.org, my name and my connect and contact me. All that info is there on the website.
all right. Well, I want to, and we'll be waving that flag for the next, I think, 6-8 months. It's getting closer.
It's coming really close.
It's coming. Yeah. So we'll be waving that flag in the next 6 months, I think, to get you all out to the IIT 2026 event. But I want to thank you all for coming in today. This was a fun show. I knew. Yeah, we could do more. But Brian, great job on the sound effects over there.
Oh,
today.
well, I try, Brian. I do my best.
All right.
So Brian, that was for you.
Yeah, we'll see you all next week. Everybody stay safe. Have fun.
Thank you.
Brian.